monitoring what the paddock looks like after the sheep have left it is every bit as important as the paddock they are going into. As you can see here, this grass is 6 to 8 inches tall. That's kind of our target. And as you can look across the whole expanse of the paddock here, you see lots of trampled grass. And that's another one of our primary goals. It's not like a hayfield, it's a pasture. And we want to see this grass that's this tall and just a mat on it. It's not wasted by any means because it provides an environment for the soil microorganisms, and this grass is going to shoot up really fast when it's left this tall versus just a couple inches tall, or even 4 inches tall. There's a big difference. So what we're looking at here is this mat that we've just made with the sheep, and also I'd like to show you a section of our paddock here that the sheep habitually graze first and graze it right down to the ground almost. There's something about this area right here that they just love to eat. Even though this paddock here is only about 7/10 of an acre, and we do have 500 head here. They're here for about a day, 24 hours. They still hit this area really hard, and it's an ongoing, perpetuating problem because the grass only gets about 10 or 12 inches instead of 24, 25 inches that the majority of the paddock has, and so it's nice tender grass, and every time they come in here and they just eat it right down to the ground. There's a couple things that's happening here that you don't want. Because the grass is short, when they finish it, they are more prone to pick up parasite larvae because they're going to be in the first 2 or 3 inches, and you're just ingesting all that larvae that you would not ingest if you were grazing pasture or your paddock length was 6 to 8 inches when you left. So let's take a look here and see what we find down here. First thing we notice that's really apparent is there's no trampled grass to speak of at all. And there's no trampled grass from the grazing period before. We've gone over this pasture 3 times now, this particular paddock, and what we'd like to see is 3 different layers of trampled grass. The layer closest to the grass being a little bit decomposed, it's brown, it's starting to decompose, the bacteria are starting to cycle the minerals, especially in it. Then the next layer from the next grazing, it's not quite as brown, but it is brown. You can see it's getting softer and it's decomposing some. And then what we'd like to see from this last time that the sheep were in here is a fresh layer of grass that's been trampled down. As you can see, we see none of that here. And so hence, you're just kind of exposing the soil microbes to direct sun, to heat. It's probably about 25 degrees hotter, maybe more when it's 90 degrees out here. This particular soil temp in the first 2 inches or so could be up to 120 degrees. And when it gets that hot, you're just killing all your soil bugs. So you're just having to wait till they can rejuvenate again when the grass gets growing a little bit and provides some cover there. Notice this grass is only 2 inches tall. There's a lot of bare spot here. It's just not what you want to see. However, it's just one of those things that you have to live with. This paddock is only about 7/10 of an acre, and there's 500 head of sheep here for one day. I suppose in this section here is about 20 or 30 feet long by 200 or wide by 200 feet long. I suppose we could, if we really wanted to manage it right, is just put them in here for an hour or 2 and then take them off, but it's kind of impractical for us to do that. So we just kind of live with it. But if your pastures are looking like this through the majority of your pasture, you're leaving your animals there too long. You are overgrazing, and you're going to suffer from the effects of that overgrazing. And that being, You're going to probably have to fertilize with your inorganic N more because you're not cycling your materials through, your N through the system. Your grass is going to be always shorter when you go into the paddock, and overall